Okay everyone, here's some watercolor techniques we're gonna try. Make sure that you are using the rough side of the paper. This is called the toothy side. That's what's gonna catch our watercolors. So the first technique I want you to try is wet on wet. So go ahead and wet your page down first, and then we'll come back to that. So we're gonna try salt on watercolor. So go ahead and use different colors, make a little painted wet pattern. Remember, you should be filling up as much of the box as you can. There should be no white spaces on this practice worksheet. So here I'm adding a little bit of orange, changing the colors. And use your fingers to sprinkle salt on very lightly. Just a little tiny bit of salt. Less is more here. Now with a lot of these techniques, we have to wait. So we're gonna leave that salt on there and wait multiple hours for it to fully dry. But while we're waiting, we can go move on to the next one. This is gonna be cling wrap technique. This is my favorite technique out of all of these, but it'll be similar to the salts on watercolor where you just want some real wet, free paint on your paper. So what you'll do when that's done is you'll take our cling wrap and open it up, make sure it's flat, and you'll just place it on top of that wet paint. You can see immediately the kind of texture it creates, but like the salt, we'll have to wait multiple hours for this to dry. So leave the cling wrap there while it's drying. Now we'll move on to the wet on wet reveal. And I'll be honest here, this is a little anticlimactic, but the longer you let your paper soak in water, the more spidery, the more spread out this will look. So I didn't wait as long. Okay, and here's one last one. Oil pastel or crayon first and then watercolor. So we can draw this with any color, pastel or crayon. I like to do white, but I'm just kind of drawing a little design here. And then I'm taking a watercolor wash and I'm gonna paint over that. And you can see the little flower I drew kind of reveals itself from underneath the watercolor. It's gonna repel the watercolor and make like a little design underneath it. Okay, so once dry, you'll take that cling wrap off and you can see that really cool bubbly texture that was made. This one is even cooler with a thicker paint. And to get your salt off, you need to scrape it over the trash. But it makes a really cool design here too. And one last technique I'm not seeing enough is just layering. If your watercolor is dry, paint over it with another layer or use a different material like a marker, a crayon, a colored pencil. This worksheet is really all about experimenting. So as many materials, layers, and colors as you can use.